Today, drama means office politics, drama means love square, and drama means the most unethical ethics department. Hi, welcome to DramaMeans. Today we're talking about the 2026 Korean drama Filing for Love.
And first, a summary. A hot-shot corporate investigator who is at the top of his game in rooting out corruption in the company he works for has his life turned upside down by his new tough-as-nails boss that seems to be out to get him from the very first meeting. What's a corporate investigator? Doesn't seem like a real job. I'm just going to say that from the outset.
I'm sure there are, people who investigate issues in the company. I just feel like that's part of the HR department, and in this they have it very separate from HR.
Yeah, and they're also act like cops. They do stakeouts, and it feels like their investigations are very intrusive. And I can't imagine. I mean, maybe this is a real thing, but in corporate structure, it kind of feels like someone complains, and they do a bunch of interviews, and then they decide who's full of crap, and then that's it. There's any stakeouts happening.
It's usually just you get called into HR and they talk to you about something. They don't spy. They don't go out to hotels and make sure someone's not cheating on another person. That's just.
It literally felt like they were running stings. They very felt a little silly as far as what their job actually is. And I don't know, maybe big corporations actually have these people. From moment one, I was kind of I kind of don't buy it as a premise. The whole thing. Yeah.
I do think that they take the comedy aspect of it more seriously than the actual plot of it.
Really? I didn't find the comedy at all to work.
I don't know, because there's it's definitely they have those womp moments, right, where he thinks he's being cool, and then he's I don't know, there's definitely, and then the way, especially once they're they hang out a lot, is it's always those moments where he thinks he's she's gonna go one way, and then it's totally opposite. There's a point where he thought that they were gonna go to a hotel together, and then realize, they're actually gonna go work a case, and but those moments are looked at as kind of comedy.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, maybe I just didn't find it very funny, but and I get the type of humor they're trying. It's these this awkward, I thought you were going to say this, and then I was going to say that, or people are jumping to conclusions very quickly, and then which leads to misunderstandings, and that's comedy, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that style of comedy doesn't really feel like comedy. It just feels like characters behaving awkwardly.
Yeah.
So that's me. That's just a me thing. So I don't know. I don't know if they were favoring comedy or plot or realism in this at all. It's just, it felt like the pitch of the show was corporate investigators, investigate corruption and then are part of the corruption. That's the pitch of the show.
Yeah. I don't know. I got one of those where it's you think it's one thing, and it's ba-dum-tsh.
Right.
I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I do want to say that I started this drama because I love Shin Hae Sun. I think she's fantastic. I've seen her in a bunch of other stuff. She has a tendency to do more, she of course does everything, but she does a lot of comedy shows. The first thing I saw her in was that mermaid one. She was a second female lead.
Okay.
And I feel there were a lot of times when certain Korean actresses take a certain road of what characters they take, if they're the side third party character, and she was always kind of comedic and kind of has this cockiness to her characters.
Right.
But then in turn it's she's kind of, her characters are always think too highly of themselves, kind of like
false confidence kind of thing.
Yeah. And so she has a tendency to take these types of characters. In this one, I'm actually like, I don't know if it's her character that like felt really put on for me at the beginning, because her character was like kind of this like cold, stoic, like ruthless boss character.
Right.
And like, but the way she played it, I didn't really buy it, and I didn't really like it.
Well, it's weird too, because they build up so much. This is less to do with her acting and more for how they introduced her character. They set her up before we really see her as the Devil Wears Prada, right? Oh my gosh, here she comes. Like, she's going to turn our office upside down. And then she immediately shows up and is like super sweet to everybody. And like, it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe we're wrong about her. And then she lays the hammer down on our male lead. And so it's kind of a little whiplashy in her introduction. And so you're like, wait, which part is put on? Is the nice put on? Or is the Ice Queen part put on? And I think it always felt like she was playing a role in the beginning. And I'm like, well, who is the character, though?
Yeah.
Because it's like, is her character the nice person? Or is that put on? Or is her character the Ice Queen? Or is that put on?
Yeah. I think it's more like I had a hard time how, like, when she does play the, like, nice character, and the way she spoke was so, like, cringy. That
part felt super fake. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, no, she's really nice. I'm like, no, she's not. She's faking you all out.
Yeah.
Like, she's a horrible human. Stay away from her.
So, I'm not sure I really liked how she played the character, especially in the beginning. I think as she got closer to him and, like, she's letting her guard down, or he's breaking through her wall that she's built up, she does feel more natural. Like, so I think that was a choice, the acting choice that she made for this character of hers.
Right.
I just really didn't enjoy that first part. And maybe we're not supposed to. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to think of the first part, to be honest. It just kind of felt a little... I always look, and maybe this is my fault, as someone who, like, tries to look a little too deep at it and go, well, what are they trying to make me feel about this character? Am I supposed to get the sense that she's, like, not really that nice and that this is just all an act? Or am I actually supposed to believe her in this moment? And the acting, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell which way they were trying to get me to go. So then it all kind of came out as superficial and not really who she was. And so maybe that is what they were going for, of like, we don't get at all who she is at the beginning. She's a chameleon who, changes her colors based on the scene she's in. And then as they get into the relationship, then she becomes more of the person that he gets to know. And you're like, oh, wait, no, this is how she really is. I don't know if there was enough of a change to, like, successfully do that. Like, make me go, oh, superficialness. Oh, yeah. No, she was playing like Two-Face. And now here's a third personality that's different. The third personality was like a combination between the two. Like, I can be tough, but I can also be playful.
Yeah. You definitely see her more playful with Gi Jun when they like start going on stings together, and then but like she always makes him like the butt of her jokes, kind of, and not. I don't even think she does it on purpose, but he does end up being like kind of a...
Well, that's kind of who he is from the very beginning, right? He's kind of like, he's this confident guy who's good at his job, but he is kind of like, from the very beginning, you're the butt of the joke is, oh, she's nice to everyone but you. And he's like, wait, why does she hate me so much?
Yeah.
Like, why is she coming after me? I was doing really good at this job. That kind of thing. So, and he's always reading into situations and maybe seeing things that aren't really there.
Yeah.
And then that's, like you say, like that's part of the comedy of this kind of awkwardness that he finds himself in.
Yeah, and I think that really plays into his character because he is, like, he wants to be so, like, corporate badass, like everyone looks up to him, you know, but he's also this really sensitive, like youngest brother of like 4 sisters and a tough mom, you know, and he's like trying to shed his like sensitive side, but then when it comes down to it, he is so sensitive. He's sensitive on how people look, like see him and just stuff like that. So I think that in turn really plays for his character pretty well in terms of like, oh, he's this badass and he's really good at his job and he like digs into stuff like really well, but then, you know, he also is insecure and he is a little whiny. He complains a lot about like most anything.
Yeah.
You know, and he totally is like fine with being like a suck up and trying to climb that corporate ladder by giving out way too many compliments kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But as for the relationship goes, I think it builds pretty nicely. Like, I think it's kind of more like an enemies to lovers kind of trope, you know, and it's done pretty well in that format.
No, I think the one thing that stuck out to me is I do think they were good together when they got together, and I think the thing we've been talking about lately is shows that have no courtship, and it did feel like this show, the strength may have been the courtship of, oh, they're kind of right for each other. They, like the way he looks at her, there's one scene where the other team member sees the way he looks at her. Like the awkward girl who's got the K-pop. I think she was the
Oh yeah. She hides the fact that she's a super fangirl.
Yeah, but they were at like the dinner, and she's watching how he looks at her, and he can't help but look at her a certain way, and she picks up on it. And I thought that was like a great like part of the courtship too, because then we got to see when they're alone, she was kind of joking. She was a little more sarcastic with him, which wasn't how she was at the beginning with him. So I do think one of the strengths of their relationship was the build, which is kind of nice when we're seeing these shows that just kind of skip that part. Or, oh, I just loved you since I was 12, so I'm always going to love you, and I don't have to have a courtship now, because I've just worshipped the ground you've walked on since I've met you. Like, this was a little bit of a breath of fresh air for those. Yeah,
I definitely do like that. And that scene where he realizes that he's interested in her, and she has this, they have this like really electric chemistry, and it's where like he's drawing her and he's like the last one in the class, and she sees the way that he sees her, right? And it's just like she's so enamored with the fact that he thinks she's that beautiful, and he's so into her and finds her so beautiful. And that chemistry there, that like sexual tension, that's really strong. Like the air is like so thick in that scene.
Well, that's just a well-structured scene too, because so rarely does a character who from the outside looking in has her shit together and is like buttoned down and like intense, and then he's seeing this softer side of her that she's not used to other people seeing, and she's not used to showing it to anyone else. So now not only is she vulnerable in the moment that, you know, she's being looked at and he's drawing, but then she gets to see through his eyes this thing that she's like, well, that's not how I look to anyone. Yeah. And so it's a whole new thing. So like just the structure of that scene period is so well constructed that you make the job of your actors a lot easier. And we talk about that all the time of like, oh, the actors just aren't given the material to make it them strong. And so now you have actors, oh, they're just bad actors. You're like, no, they weren't given the thing that let them succeed. Yeah. So I think it's important to kind of call it out when you give actors, when you give them the proper tools to let them succeed in a scene. Then you're like, oh, it's all actors. It's all great. You're like, no, the material, let them get there.
Yeah. So there are some scenes that I really enjoyed in this. For the most part, though, as a whole, I feel like there was a lot lacking in it. Let it be like all the different cases that they do that seem a little like far-fetched. I understand it's like an affair in the office, right? But like when the wife like kind of like freaks out and like almost
runs him over with a car.
Yeah, tries to run him over. Also, that scene, like the scene was played just so that like she can catch him and he's the damsel in distress, right?
The whole scene is very strange.
Yeah, but it's just like, and they never even like addressed the issue, like what happened to her. Like she just tried to freaking murder somebody. You know, like
it's okay. Her husband's cheating on her, so she's allowed to just murder his random coworkers that are investigating him.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just there's a lot of issues with it, and I think one of my main issues is the secretary.
Sure.
But I don't know if I want to get into this full because I'm so mad at her character.
Well, I think, should we kind of walk through it from the beginning? Because we had a fierce debate.
Yes.
About this show, about, you know, our lead woman comes in and she's like, you there, star of the team, go work with the loser team. And he's like, no, I'm on the A team. I think they literally called it the A team. I'm on the A team.
No, it's team 1.
Okay, team 1.
And then team 3 is the...
Right, so ABC 1, 2, 3, right? Like, he's on the top team, and she wants to put him on the bottom team that doesn't handle anything of significance.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, poor me. And my first reaction to that is, quit. Like, you're the star. You're really good at your job. If anyone looked at your resume on paper, they would be like, oh, wow, you're really good at this. You're a rising star. And yeah, I could see why you'd want to leave this company. You just got demoted. And your reaction was so different. My
reaction, like, so, and I don't know if it's just this, like, weird optimism that I have, or the fact that I just watch so much TV and all these TV and, like, you know, dramas. It's like, I took it as an opportunity to whip up Team 3, and he's going to eventually be the team leader. He's going to lead this Team 3 to, like, you know, become, like, the all-star team. You know what I mean? Like, and I think maybe it's just that, like, I have that underdog, like, you know, or, like, I don't...
You want to see the assembly of the Avengers and then, them go avenging.
Exactly. Like... I, for whatever reason, didn't really see it as, and I don't know if I just had a lot of, like, confidence in, Ina as a character, and, like, she's like, oh, she has, like, really great insight or something.
Right, she's like, there's a plan, like, there's a master plan she's not telling anybody, and, like, just trust the process, this will be good for you.
Yeah, but in my head, I was like, oh, he's gonna join this team, he's going to, like, do a really great job because he does a great job wherever he goes, right? It doesn't have to be Team 1. Like, he can do a good job everywhere. And so he can whip these, like, kind of lackadaisical coworkers, you know? And so he's going to create this great team, and they're going to be, like, badass, like, investigative corporate people. I don't know. Whatever their titles are, right? But I just expected that, like, and then, like, later their team was gonna be the next Team 1 kind of thing, and of course the show, like, totally slapped me in the face.
Yes, you were wrong. But also, like, if it was gonna be an opportunity, like, she has to present it to him as an opportunity. She just presents it to him as, screw you, you're Team 3 now, with, like, no explanation. No, like, hey, you've done great, like, acknowledgement of great work. Just, no, instead of, like, really big, important, like, take down the company type cases, you're now going to be investigating, like, affairs at work. And he's like, that's so far beneath my skills. And she offers no explanation of why it's a good idea. Like, she could have been like, hey, like, I want all teams to perform like Team 1, and Team 3 doesn't, so that's why you're there. And it's like, from his perspective, I think that's what I was looking at it. If I was the star at work, and all of my hard work was rewarded by, like, kicked down to the loser kids table at lunch, I'd be like, why am I just staying loyal to this company? Like, my resume is on the way out through the emails the next day. Like, I am looking for a company that would reward my hard work, not kick me in the nuts.
Yeah, I think I would totally be like, I would create a plan.
You're a sucker.
I am a sucker, but I would totally create a plan. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start with the chief. I'm going to work on him, and he's going to be great. He's going to lead the team, and then we're gonna do a really great job. Like,
why? You're gonna do a great job for the company that just shit canned you down to the worst team? I would be like, you know what? Either I'm leaving or I'm quiet quitting. Where you're like, I'm like, well, you're paying me the same either way. I'm going to do the bare minimum work from now on. You want a team 3 guy? I'm your best team 3 guy. In the fact that I ain't going to do nothing outside of what I absolutely have to do.
Yeah.
Because the pay is the same either way. Yeah. So we had differing opinions. But ultimately, I like to say I was right.
Well, you were right
because it was a massive demotion.
It was a massive demotion, and it was very personal, and you know, for her own, well, I don't know if it's really for her own benefit. It's for the CEO, the vice CEO's benefit, but which really, like, that upset me so much. It, like, felt so out of character for her. I know, like, it had to happen for, like, the plot to move on.
Right.
But I was just like, it just felt so wrong because she was so, like, upright the whole time, and then,
except for not.
And I understand, like, where her character came from, because, like, she once told him that she's always going to have his back, you know, and it was like a loyalty thing for her, and she didn't want him to, like, you know, lose to the younger brother guy. But
doesn't it make her a shitty person?
Yeah.
Like, she is willing to step on cockroaches in order to, like, help her friends.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who those cockroaches are. Like, I will step on whoever I need to step on for my loyalty to my friend. That's kind of a shitty person.
Yeah.
And, like, I know, like, ultimately they work through their differences. But, man, that would be really hard for me to swallow. It's like, wait a minute. You tried to can me because I was gonna uncover your secret because I'm good at my job?
Yeah, but also she, like, deleted all the evidence.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, you're the most corrupt human.
Yeah.
It's icky.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel icky about them being together. And I know, again, it's what has to happen in order for us to tell the story the way that they're telling it. But you get to the end and go, I don't know, you should maybe dump her. Like, it's real gross to me.
I definitely think that it was such a betrayal, and I can't believe he forgave her so easily.
Yeah.
Also,
I think it's one of those things that, like, if you want them to be together, you're going, oh, that's not that big of a deal. But, like, in real life, to me, that's crazy big deal. Like, you tried to sabotage my whole career for a selfish reason to help your friend.
Yeah.
Like, you were trying to ruin my life. And then you realized you liked me and were like, oh, you felt bad for ruining my life. But, like, if you hadn't fallen in love with me, you would have just ruined my whole entire life. That's huge. This is crazy that you still be with this person.
Yeah. Well, I overlooked this. You know how, like, some people watch, like, watch dark romance stuff and they forgive a lot? And I'm like, I don't understand how you can forgive that and overlook all this stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I'm overlooking this.
Okay. So you overlooked that.
But mainly because their chemistry was so good.
Yeah. No, they're
honestly,
good together.
they probably wouldn't have ended up together if that didn't happen.
I mean, she would have been fired for deleting files when he uncovered the fact that she was a horrible person at her job and the CEO was corrupt, and the entire company would have come crashing down around their ears, and they'd probably both been unemployed.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't end up together, but maybe they deserve to be alone.
Well, if he really did uncover that stuff and reported her, which he was not the one that reported her.
Yeah. So you forgive her, but you don't forgive Ah Jeong.
Well, I hate her character, first of all. And I was like hoping that she was gonna be that like bestie that like that Gi Jun can like go like turn to and like tell her all like his secrets and like, you know, because I was like, well, yes, they dated, but she ultimately has feelings for Jeol instead. So it's not really a love triangle thing, but like weirdly she just liked both, like she wanted both of them, really.
Well, she just wanted everything all the time.
Yeah, and like, and I don't know if it was even she wanted either of the guys. She just had this weird resentment towards Ina, which I'm kind of like, here's the thing. If someone went out of their way, and like, and even though the person like acted like it was no big deal, like, it's kind of a big deal if they helped you the moment you really needed it, right? And so Ina literally gave Ajong her own shoes, right? So that she can go into this interview and do a good job, right? And in return, got resentment.
I know. She's a spoiled brat syndrome.
Yeah, but I'm like, so like, it's weird to me because I thought spoiled brats usually are like from people from like, that are well off and like, you know, have a lot of like, you know, like,
I think technically yes, but I think in the way that I think about it, it's people who think, well, why do they get that? I should have that. Like, how come they get it? That's so unfair.
Yeah.
Like, and whether or not you're like a rich kid who says that, or you're someone who doesn't have much, like that mentality of, well, it's not fair that I don't have the thing you have. And then I always say, like, people love to envy what you have, but don't like to envy what it took for you to get that stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, that to me is like being a brat of like, well, you don't envy my hard work. You just envy the shoes that I have on my feet because those just appeared. You know?
Yeah. So, which is exactly what it was for her. Like, she's like, I had to buy these knockoffs and then they broke on me. But you got the real brand named ones. Right? And then literally literally, Ina gave Ajong these brand name shoes so that she could get through this interview, right? And I'm like, that's like, she didn't need to do that. She didn't fucking need to help you. She did that because you needed it, but yet you turn around and like hate her. Right? And so then...
But that's kind of her character, right? Her character's biting the hand that feeds her over and over and over again.
Over and over again, because the next person that helped her was the CEO guy, right? Like, Yeol. And, like, yes, she's fallen in love with him or whatever, right? But the minute he's like, hey, I don't have feelings for you, you're just my secretary, you're like... But you have to love me.
You're like, why?
And then I'm gonna fucking betray you because you don't love me and you love this other woman that I resent. And I'm just like, what? Like, literally, you were kicked out and you're like gonna live on the streets. You're gonna be on the streets. And he literally gave you an apartment to live in for free. You didn't have to pay for anything, right? And then you're like, oh, you don't love me? Fuck you. I'm gonna go and like give evidence to your brother so that your brother can take you down.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Right? So that's like the second person that's like literally helped her in her most destitute time, right? And then she's like, no, I'm gonna fuck you over. And then the third person, which is Gi Jun, and like, she threw a tantrum at Jeol and was like, I'm not going to live in this apartment you just gave me, right? I'm going to go move in with my ex-boyfriend and like literally just walk in and be like, hey, I'm going to live here now.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, because I'm a good friend.
Yeah. And then later he fucks him over too with the whole Ina thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, she's a terrible character.
Terrible character. Like, no redeeming qualities.
I mean, it goes back to something I've said before with, like, I hate to, like, generalize, but a lot of these Korean dramas portray Korean women in one of two ways. Ice Queen, who can't ever show her emotions, and she's so closed off to anything, and she's an ice cube that has to be melted. Or batshit crazy. Like, the woman who almost kills him with the car and is like raving, screaming about her husband's affair. You're like, that is such a crazy reaction to any life event. Trying to murder someone with your car.
I mean, people go crazy.
No, I know, but they don't have to go crazy in the shows all the time.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be always the woman character.
And it doesn't have to always be the women characters who are just so overly emotional or no emotion.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only two things that they can play. And I'm not saying all characters, but there's a majority of these characters that we see in this Korean shows over and over again that I have no emotions. I'm, don't approach me. I'm too cool and calm, and I'm so smart that I also have no emotions.
Yeah.
Or I'm so emotional that I have no brains. It's like, is there no middle ground for characters here? Like,
so I think when we were watching this, we were also watching Pursuit of Jade around the same time, I think. And I kept thinking, like, why is it that a lot of the Korean dramas we watch is like these, like, the badass women or like the smart women always are so like at least portrayed as the people around them like don't like them, like they're unlikable people because they're smart and powerful and like capable, right? Whereas like we watch Pursuit of Jade and like she is very capable and she's like street smarts, right?
yeah.
But she's so personable and likable and just lovely, right? And I'm just like, why can't a lot of these dramas that we watch have that type of character as our female leads, right?
Yeah, I don't understand. It feels like a caricature that has gotten out of control, and so now it's just the thing they do.
Yeah, like it was done maybe 20 years ago, and they just haven't gotten out of that mold.
Or it was done, it's a type of character that was like done, and it was really popular, and so that's just now the way you make a character popular. Maybe that's what it is. Like, once it works, it works, so we'll keep doing it. And then, but yeah, you could do other things, though, because there's lots of ways you can make a character feel intelligent. There's lots of ways you can make a character feel lovable. It boggles my mind that it feels like every one we watch, I'm like, again?
Yeah.
Again with the crazy lady and the, why is she so icy? Yeah. I don't want to watch an ice cube melt. Like, I'm tired of watching awkward characters, like characters who can't get words out of their mouth, and they're like, just speak. Like, everyone's so freaking awkward. Or everyone's so freaking emotionless. Like, isn't there any other nuance we can play?
Yeah, well, being the awkward person that I am.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, there's these characters that seem to have come into favor across all dramas. Like, we see it in American dramas. We see it in television commercials. I cannot remember the actor's name now, but like every commercial they're in, they're just kind of this like quirky awkward. I'm like, I don't really want to see every character be quirky awkward.
Yeah.
Could we have a character be quirky confident? Like, let's try that. I'd like to see that one. Nope, quirky awkward. That's the only thing we can play.
So I also found this weird like Jeol, Ina, Gi Jun love triangle thing kind of weird. And I feel like it came too late also in the drama.
Did you feel like Jeol's the CEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
He felt like such a creeper the whole show to me. His demeanor, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the character or if it's the way the actor played the character. Like, he never felt like a actual love interest because he just kind of felt creepy.
He was creepy because he was really like, forced his affection on her?
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And the thing is, like, in the beginning, I just thought he was also like a stoic kind of like not personable CEO kind of thing, because he kind of felt like that with Gi Jun when Gi Jun was trying to like kind of suck up to him kind of thing. But like yeah, he just always felt kind of like stoic and like reserved. He didn't want to let anyone in, right?
Right.
And the only person that he let in was Ina. But like he felt creepy because he was very like we used to date and so now we have to get back together. And he was very like he didn't care that she wasn't interested in him anymore. He didn't care that she was like seeing Gi Jun, you know, like, and then like he drank himself into a stupor where he like got sent to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I think he almost died, right? Because she turned him down. And it was just kind of this like, where did this come from? It was kind of like the last like third of it, right? And so it just felt that all that didn't come like he did show a little bit of like more of a interest in Ina, but like almost like a just friends kind of thing in the beginning, right? And then it just went like full on, I'm obsessed with you.
Yeah.
Too late and really fast. And so they didn't build up to that. So then he did become a creeper and he was like, you know, just like on the street and then sees them together and it's like this stalker feel to it, right? So I think that is a misstep on the like the production itself, the show.
Well, the story overall.
Yeah. So it's just, but it's so weird to me. Like this whole thing like came on really fast and like abrupt, and it was like it was a little jarring.
Yeah, maybe they felt like it was the place they had to go because of the history between the two of them, and so it's, you know, the shared history and this loyalty that they have that has to then turn to affection and like him being the obstacle in our leads coming together at the end. Like maybe that's like the thought of the story, but I agree with you. Like from the beginning, like you feel for him and the whole thing that's going on with the wife and like, you know, he feels trapped and like then he's also like being helped and there's a scandal. So like, but I don't know if it's the actor. I don't want to say, I don't want to dump it on the actor, but like the portrayal of that character from the beginning, I did not like this dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't like his character from moment one all the way through the end. And there's nothing they've done at all through the entire thing that has made me want to be on that guy's side.
Yeah. It's definitely not the actor. I've watched him in like a ton of stuff before this, ever since like Antique, right? And so he's a good actor. It's just that I think this role is not a good role, and I don't think it was written well. I don't think it was like directed well. I don't think it was produced well. Like it's just not. As a show itself, I didn't think it was like very good. I don't like it, but
yeah, I think that if he's going to be a love triangle or he's going to be a complication in the way that he is, having him be so unlikable throughout is tough for me, because then the things that all the rest of the characters are doing, especially in service of him and in service of his character, you're like, why are you helping this dude?
Yeah.
Like you can't, I have a hard time understanding her loyalty. I have a hard time understanding why they have a history or how they dated ever, because he's just so unlikable. Wait, this is who you're loyal to? This is who you will like go to bat for? Like, have you ever met anyone who's so unlikable and you're like, I'm going to go to bat for that one?
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, I was like, oh, he's got to be blackmailing her. Like, there's got to be still like a reason she has to be loyal. It can't just be he's a cool guy, because that ain't true.
Yeah, I think that for her, like, well, they were dating, but it was like more sympathy, really, because she felt so like, you know, in the past, even before they were dating, like she felt so bad for him because he was like kind of being bullied, right, from you know, the execs to like the family and all that stuff. So she's like, I'm gonna always be loyal to you because I got your back, because this is so unfair that they're treating you so horribly, right? And it's all from the past, because like present, he's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? So.
But can we also talk about his present for a while? And maybe we're talking about this character too much already. I don't understand how he gets into the situation he's in, again, without also being a shitty person along the way. Like, are you married to this horrible person in this horrible family? And correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like it was a marriage of convenience to advance his career.
Yeah.
So he's the type of person to marry a horrible person in order to have money and power. By definition, that's a shitty person.
Well, I don't know if it's money and power. It's more like to appease his own father.
Yeah, but like, that's what shitty people do. Shitty people get into marriages that are like arranged fake marriages with horrible, toxic people in order to appease other rich, horrible people because you're a rich, horrible person. So like, where he's ended up, I can't feel sorry for him. Because I'm like, no, because you're just a horrible person for getting to that situation anyway. You should have said, screw you, I'm going to go be a barista, and I'm going to be happy in life. Like anything else. But no, you're a shitty person who like has to be the CEO of a company because that's what you have to do. If I'm not a CEO, I'm no one. Okay, you're a douche.
Yeah, well, anyway,
we've talked about that character way too much.
Way too much.
I will say, I want to go back to the positive of this show because I do think the chemistry between the leads, like we said, the courtship, like, as much as I am pissed at her, and I do feel weird that they're together by the end, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's also because she's his boss.
Yeah, well, there's a few weird layers.
Yeah, it's like, it's very, like, for being the ethics department of
they're not very ethical.
Yeah. But before we talk about the relationship again, I do have to say that I really do, you know how I love, like, you know, rivals to friends kind of thing. How they got together. Gi Jun and Yeol got together to, like, basically save Ina, right?
Yes.
And so I do like that part where, like, you know, they can put aside their differences and their, like, you know, their love triangle or whatever. So, and, like, be fine with working together and ultimately, like, maybe kind of be friends, or at least.
No one wants to be friends with that guy. But I do, like, the point taken is, like, at least they could put together the petty stuff, or put away the petty stuff in order to, like, you know, make sure that the day is saved.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I like I said, I do think they're good together. I think, unfortunately, there's so much for me that's, like, kind of wrong with the show that you're like, there's not enough good moments to make the show a great show.
Yeah.
And honestly, the premise to me is so freaking bizarre. I don't know. I already have a hard time with office corporate comedies and, like, corporate dramas. I just don't care about people in suits going to work. Like, I just don't care about people in cubicles. Like, to me, these office dramas are the worst. So sorry. I don't care about office drones in suits. I don't care about them. It's
true. Well, every time you talk about, like, office romance or office drama, my first thing is Rational Life. Like, that's one of my favorite, like, romance dramas. But it's, like, takes place in office.
I don't know. They're not my favorite types of shows.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess my point is that it has to be a really good show for me to, like, oh, an office drama, I'm in. Like, I'm so out from the beginning that the show has a much higher bar to set for me. And from the episode 1, the show doesn't make me really want to continue watching.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my rating is stepping out for fresh air.
Land sickness. Sorry, but not really sorry.
Yeah.
I think it kind of deserves it. I do think there's an audience for this show, and I will admit being a little bit of a hater on the genre overall. So if, like, you like office comedy romance,
there's just been better too, though.
There's been better, but there's also been worse.
Yeah.
So true. Like, I do think there's a charm about parts of the show that people may get more out of it than I get out of it. So it's like, I'm not like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's for sure not.
Yeah, well, that is it for us this week.
Ending on a real high note. It's not the worst show ever. Period. End of sentence.
For you, it's mid, right?
Yeah, it's super mid.
Yeah, and stepping out for fresh air is pretty mid also. But yeah. Well, thank you for listening.
And we will see you next time.